Hold on to your MAGA hats, folks. This week, the 2024 election took a turn for the, well, let's just say interesting. Donald J. Trump, never one to be outdone in the spectacle department, decided to grace Wisconsin with his presence. But he didn't just show up in any old way. No, he arrived in a fashion that can only be described as on brand. Picture this, a crisp autumn day in the Midwest. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and a giant garbage truck rumbles into the rally location. That's right, a garbage truck. And who's behind the wheel grinning that grin? You guessed it, the former president of the United States. Now, you might be asking yourself, why a garbage truck? Was there a sale at the Trump Tower gift shop? Did someone lose a bet? Well, according to our sources, and by sources we mean Trump's Twitter feed, it was all part of a brilliant plan to troll Joe Biden. And, knowing Trump, it probably involved a Sharpie and a half-eaten cheeseburger. The crowd, initially puzzled, quickly caught on to the joke. Laughter erupted as Trump stepped out of the truck, waving and smiling. He gave his signature thumbs up and the crowd went wild. He then took to the podium, delivering a speech filled with his usual flair and bravado. He didn't miss a beat, taking jabs at his opponents and rallying his base. The message was clear. Trump is back, and he's ready to take on anyone who stands in his way. As he left the stage, the crowd's energy was palpable, a mix of excitement and anticipation for what's to come. The sun set on a day that was anything but ordinary, leaving everyone wondering what Trump will do next. As Trump climbed out of the garbage truck, after a brief struggle that we're sure was completely intentional, the crowd went wild. It was a spectacle that seemed almost too perfect, as if it had been choreographed for maximum effect. Chants of USA, USA, and lock her up, still, filled the air. The energy was palpable, a mix of fervent patriotism and raw emotion that seemed to electrify the atmosphere. It was a scene that could only be described as, well, a Trump rally. Flags waved, banners were held high, and the sea of red hats created a visual spectacle that was hard to ignore. Trump, clearly relishing in the absurdity of it all, grabbed a microphone that was probably disinfected within an inch of its life and launched into a speech that would make even the most seasoned political commentator scratch their head. His words were a mix of bravado and grievance, a performance that was as much about entertainment as it was about politics. "They call you deplorable," Trump bellowed, his voice hoarse from, well, existing. "They say you're trash, they say you're garbage. But you know what? You're not garbage, you're patriots." His declaration was met with thunderous applause, a validation of the crowd's unwavering support. "But you know what? You're not garbage, you're patriots." The crowd roared its approval, their cheers echoing through the venue like a wave of affirmation. The crowd roared its approval. It was a moment of unity, a collective expression of defiance against those who dared to criticize them. Sleepy Joe, he wouldn't know a patriot if it hit him in the face with a 10-foot pole, Trump continued, his voice dripping with sarcasm. The crowd erupted in laughter, their amusement a testament to their shared disdain for his political rival. "Probably thinks patriots are something you order at a fancy restaurant." The crowd loved it. Their laughter and cheers filled the air, a chorus of approval for Trump's biting humor. He then launched into a tirade about the fake news media, who he accused of being in cahoots with the radical left and the deep state. His words were met with boos and jeers, the crowd's disdain for the media as palpable as their support for Trump. It was classic Trump, a greatest hits compilation of grievances and insults delivered with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. His speech was a masterclass in rallying his base, a performance that left no doubt about his ability to captivate and energize his supporters. As you can imagine, the media had a field day with Trump's garbage truck escapade. CNN ran a chyron that simply read, "What?" MSNBC's Rachel Maddow dedicated an entire segment to dissecting the psychological implications of Trump's choice of vehicle. And Fox News? Well, they praised Trump's bold and unconventional approach to campaigning. Social media, of course, exploded. #GarbageTruckGate was trending worldwide within minutes. Memes were created, jokes were cracked, and think pieces were written. It was the kind of chaotic, nonsensical event that has become synonymous with the Trump era. But beneath the surface-level absurdity, there was a sense that something deeper was at play. Was Trump's stunt simply a desperate attempt to grab headlines? Or was it a calculated move to appeal to his base's sense of grievance and anger? Whatever the reason, one thing was clear. The 2024 election was shaping up to be a real dumpster fire, Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, didn't Hillary Clinton already try this whole basket of deplorables thing? Yes, she did, and it became one of the most memorable moments of her 2016 campaign, but not in a good way. And didn't it backfire spectacularly? Indeed it did. The phrase alienated a significant portion of the electorate and arguably contributed to her loss. Well, yes, but apparently nobody told that to Joe Biden. Despite the historical lesson, Biden found himself in a similar situation. In a moment of stunningly bad judgment, even for him, Biden was caught on a hot mic referring to Trump supporters as a bunch of garbage people. This slip-up was not just a minor error, it was a significant blunder. The reaction was swift and predictable. Outrage spread like wildfire across social media and news outlets. Trump, never one to miss an opportunity to play the victim, immediately seized on Biden's gaffe, tweeting, "Sleepy Joe just called you garbage. He thinks you're trash." His supporters rallied behind him, feeling vindicated. "But I know the truth. You're the real Americans." This message resonated deeply with his base, reinforcing their loyalty. The irony of Trump, a man who literally campaigned on a garbage truck, accusing someone else of insulting the American people, was not lost on anyone. It was a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black. But, as we've learned over the past few years, logic and reason are about as effective at stopping a runaway Trump tweet as a screen door is at stopping a hurricane. The political landscape remains as turbulent as ever, with each side digging in deeper. Section 5. White House Damage Control, Spinning a New Narrative. Meanwhile, back at the White House, the Biden campaign was scrambling to contain the damage. "What the president meant to say," stammered a flustered Jen Psaki, "is that he believes all Americans are created equal regardless of their political beliefs. He deeply regrets if his words were misconstrued. Right? And I'm the tooth fairy." The problem was, nobody was buying it. Not the media, not the public, and certainly not Donald Trump, who was already busy printing up garbage people for Trump t-shirts. It was becoming increasingly clear that Biden, who had campaigned on a message of unity and healing, had committed a major unforced error. And in a close election, that could be all it took to tip the scales in Trump's favor. Section 6. Trump to the Rescue Puerto Rico Edition. Just when you thought things couldn't get any weirder, Trump did something unexpected. He defended Puerto Rico. Yes, you read that right. The same Donald Trump who once famously tossed paper towels at hurricane survivors like he was playing a carnival game was now suddenly the champion of the island. "The people of Puerto Rico are amazing, hard-working Americans," Trump declared at a rally in Florida. "And they deserve a president who will fight for them, not throw paper towels at them." Now, it's important to note that Trump's newfound love for Puerto Rico coincided suspiciously with the fact that there are a lot of Puerto Rican voters in Florida, a key swing state. But hey, who are we to question the man's motives? Section 7. Harris throws Biden under the bus. As if things weren't already chaotic enough, Kamala Harris decided to add fuel to the fire. In an interview with CNN, the vice president was asked about Biden's garbage people comment. Instead of defending her running mate, Harris did what any good politician would do. She threw him under the bus. "Look, I can't speak to the president's words," Harris said carefully. "But what I can say is that I believe in the American people, and I know that we are better than this." Translation: "Don't blame me. I voted for the other guy." Harris's attempt to distance herself from the controversy did little to quell the firestorm. If anything, it only served to further highlight the growing rift between the president and vice president. Section 8. The Great American Garbage Debate. So, here we are, America. In the year of our Lord 2024, the biggest issue facing our nation is garbage. Who knew? Instead of debating important issues like climate change, healthcare, or the economy, we're arguing about whether or not Trump supporters are garbage people. And honestly, it's exhausting. But here's the thing. We're all Americans. We all have to share this garbage fire of a country together. And no matter who wins in November, we're going to have to find a way to clean up this mess. Section 9. Trash Talk on the Campaign Trail. The garbage discourse has become a dominant theme on the campaign trail. Every rally, every interview, every tweet is now viewed through the lens of this bizarre national conversation. Pundits analyze every word spoken by both candidates, searching for any hint of disrespect or condescension towards the American people. The irony, of course, is that this entire debacle is a distraction from the real issues facing our country. But hey, at least it's entertaining, right? Section 10. A dumpster fire election. As we hurtle towards Election Day, one thing is clear. This election is a dumpster fire. From the candidates to the issues to the rhetoric, it's enough to make you want to crawl under a rock and wait for it all to be over. But we can't give up hope just yet. We still have a chance to make our voices heard and choose the leader we believe will best guide us through these turbulent times. So get out there and vote, America. Your country needs you. Section 11. Last stop. The White House or bust. Will Trump's garbage truck gambit be enough to win him a second term? Or will Biden overcome his verbal missteps and secure victory? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. This election will be one for the history books. Buckle up, America. It's going to be a bumpy